Here's a quick wide open throttle. Getting that 85 in there. Alright guys, it is a new day and here we are. We got a full tank of gas. We're in comfort mode, everything is great. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to add a downpipe on the Audi S3. Something that I've been kind of holding off a little bit just because I love the performance of the stock downpipe. I love that you get a lot without having to switch that part out. But finally wanted to test out the difference between the two, between what pushing a stock downpipe is like and then upgrading to a aftermarket less restrictive downpipe, bigger. We're doing the Trackslag 4-inch today. So on my GTI, I did the downpipe install myself. It being front wheel drive install isn't too bad, a little tedious, but it's not too bad. Now on the all-wheel drive cars, the drive shaft is in the way, so I guess like the best way to do it is to drop the subframe, and it's not something that I really have the time for, to be honest. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it to the shop. They're gonna install that downpipe for us, and then we'll be able to do some testing, guys. Again, just because of the time constraints and everything, I'm trying to get the video out a little bit sooner rather than later. It's just easier just to take it to the shop. So they have a lift, so they get enough clearance, which I would have been doing it on the jack stands. Anyways, let's go ahead and take it out there. We're only 20 minutes away from the shop, so we can install the downpipe. Nah, I'm just kidding. The downpipe's already on. It's insane how quiet the Trackslag is. Oh my god, I did not expect this. On my GTI, it was pretty loud with the coupe exhaust and everything, but like, this is the stock axle back, and you couldn't even tell that it's already on. Like, you couldn't tell this is modified. I can have a full-blown conversation in here with someone and just like not even know, they won't even know that this has been upgraded, right? This is in comfort mode right now, so the valves are closed. This is a catless Trackslag downpipe, and we also opted for the resonator delete as well. So insane. I am blown away. And I usually don't say this about mods, but oh my god, I didn't expect this, guys. This is crazy. Again, this is just in comfort. Valves are closed. We're just cruising. This will not be a cop magnet, and I love that. I love that we still have the quad tips in the back, the stock exhaust tips. I'm more than happy with how it sounds right now. This is really nice. So you can see it's shifting right now, right? Let me get the camera closer. Let's do some downshifting. Yeah, that's quiet. Super quiet. Definitely an OEM plus type of mod. That's our stock downpipe right there. I took out the rear seats to kind of make room. I thought I was gonna be short on room, but I guess I didn't need to take it out. Well, at least I'm not getting my stock seats dirty, so oh well. But yeah, I am beyond impressed. Let's switch it into dynamic mode now. Let's see. All right, this is dynamic mode. Valves are now open. Transmission is in sport mode. I still don't really hear much of a difference. Here's a quick wide open throttle. Yeah, not much louder. It feels OEM plus. A tad louder, just a hair, not even that much. But again, this is just cruising in sport mode, normal throttle. It's not loud at all. There it is, now it's loud. Let's get on it just a little bit. It feels a little torquier. Spool is a little bit quicker. Feels a little bit more responsive, wow. Okay, so the backfires are louder. If you put it on in sport mode, a lot more prominent. I would say it's about 25 to 30% louder over a completely stock exhaust system in dynamic mode. If you're in comfort mode, it's maybe like 5% or less louder, which is insane. I keep saying that, but that's the difference that I'm seeing right here. So All right, so now that we have our stock downpipe out of the car, let's go ahead and take a quick look at it. This thing is pretty damn long. The all-wheel drive cars, they get this long piece. It's all one solid piece, so it's a little bit involved to get this whole thing out. But if you look at this on the Mark 8R and the S3, the cats are a little bit different, right? You've got this fat piece up top, then you've got this smaller piping that goes down, kind of bottlenecks a little bit. Then you got your two additional cats in the center right there. Then it joins back up again, and just take a look at that. It's a lot different than the Mark 7. I was told that to remove this one, it took a little bit more work versus like a Mark 7. And here's another thing I wanted to show you. Look at the indentations in the stock downpipe. So I just feel all of these little things kind of disrupt airflow a little bit. Yes, it's still a good piece compared to the previous gen. It flows a lot better. But again, it's still going to be that smaller piece. And look, you see the indentations kind of carry over throughout the pipe there. So that's a big no-no. Take a look at the secondary O2 sensor port right there. You can see the cat inside. And then this thing is chunky up top. Let's take a quick measurement here. Let's measure it from the inside diameter. This is about it's about 3.5 inches, give or take. About 3.5 inches, pretty wide. That's like the size of an aftermarket downpipe on a Mark 7. So it make perfect sense why it flows a lot better from factory on these newer cars. Just look at the size of this thing. Almost can fist it. Check it out right here. Let's try to put the measuring tape in there. Look at that. Fits. Wow. All right, now coming down, it's big up top, but let's see how it stacks up at the end piece right here. This is just about 2.5 inches, give or take. So it definitely goes down in size. Let's put the measuring tape in there again. You can see the difference now, much smaller. And then this is the resonator right there. Take a look at that. Now it looks like my car came with the sports resonator directly from Audi. You can look at the part number right there. I think the other non-sports versions would have a bigger resonator. In this one, it's just like a smaller piping piece, so a little bit different there. So now for some sound clips. Alright guys, so we've been driving with the Trackslag catless downpipe for a good while now. It's been about 2 weeks, give or take, and I wanted to give you my overall thoughts and opinions on it. So, as I mentioned before, it's really quiet. That has not changed, even by being broken in or whatever. Like the sound, the tone, it's the same. I would say it's about 5% louder than stock when you're just cruising in normal comfort or drive mode. You can hardly tell the difference. Maybe just a tad bit more hissing on the exhaust side, but you really have to have like a keen ear to hear that stuff. Like no music on, no radio, and then maybe you can hear that difference. Now when you get into sport mode and you turn it up a little bit and you kind of get on the throttle, get on the boost, you're gonna get more pops and bangs. I mean, it's a lot more prominent now. I would say if you want to have a much louder car, don't get the silenced version because it might be too quiet for you. It might be too tame for you. I, on the other hand, I wanted quiet. I wanted to be able to cruise around like a stock car but still have the performance gain. So I went with the silenced version, and so far, like I said, I'm happy with it. Now, in terms of performance, we're going to check some before and after data logs in the near future, and then I'll go ahead and give an update on that. But I would say, you know, after like the butt down and everything, throttle response did seem a little bit sharper. In the high RPMs, it also felt like it felt a little bit more constant. With the stock downpipe, it felt good in the mid-range, and then top end wise, it kind of like, I felt like it was like tapering down just a little bit. The torque felt a little bit flat. But with this, it kind of just feels like it's a little bit more constant. It holds a little bit more. Again, this is just like off like the butt down, all right? We'll get some data logs, and we'll try to compare before and after very, very soon. So I can't, you know, speak on that fully yet, but so far so good is what it seems like. Now, is it a drastic difference? No, I wouldn't say so. We're also on the same tuning map. We haven't had a calibration for this new data log, so that possibly could help push things a little bit more. And I think that's when we're going to do like the before and after data logs to check everything. Yeah, overall, I'm happy with it. I'm glad it's not too loud.